the Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend, the show that never misses an episode or a gala due to injury, and I'm very excited about the one we've got for you today. The Roast Master General Jeff Ross is here. His show, Take a Banana for the Ride, is headed to Broadway. We're going to talk to him about that and which sports legend he should roast next. I have some really dumb ideas he's going to hate. Then we've got my D3 to talk Game 3 of Cavs Pacers. Can Cleveland turn this series around on the road? We give out our best bets on who will be the starting quarterback position for the Giants and Colts come week 1. But before that, I'd like to address a serious issue. Earlier this week, our esteemed producer, babyface Joel Solomon, sustained an injury to his right knee. It's unclear how this happened. He thinks either it was because he was leaning it against the console in his car while he drove his daughters and her friends around, or he has a bad case of gout. We'll never know. Either way, we're about to show you a picture of the knee in question right now. If you're squeamish, I beg of you to please look away. Here it is. Oh, all right, sorry you had to see that. Hideous, hideous. We wish you a speedy recovery, producer Joel. Filling in for Babyface is 2017 Homecoming King runner-up Mikey Meatballs. He's going to test my reflexes and reactions by throwing a crumpled up piece of paper with a thought written on it in my direction. I'll catch it, I'll read it, and I'll tell you my thoughts on the issue. We call this Tossing Topics. All right, fire away, Meatballs. Good. Oh, all right, good. Bereavement bets. Okay, it's been a few days. Honestly, I'm still in awe of that Game 7 between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. This was a shocking result, and not just because a team named the Jets emerged victorious. I've analyzed the ending of regulation like the Zapruder films, and I'm convinced Winnipeg had a second shooter. And as miraculous as it was, I could totally 100% see it coming. Late in the third period, it's 3-2 Blues, and my buddy, the Parlay Kid, texted the group, "This is going to be fun." And I responded, "Well, there's another goal coming because I bet under 5.5. So you're probably right. It will be fun." Sure enough, with 1.6 seconds left, this game was tied and my wager was effed. And because the books don't offer live odds with the puck flying around with 7 seconds left, I feel like there has to be some recourse when an act of gambling gods occurs. I know they're not going to do this because no one ever listens to me, but my wish is for FanDuel to offer bereavement pay or payback for anyone who loses in such painful fashion. How about 10% of the bet, or at least enough to cover what it's going to cost to patch the holes in your wall? 1.6 seconds, the game was over. It was under, but then it was over. You know what I mean. Look, no gambler should have to experience this much misery or joy. The winners should have to kick back a few bucks and bull pay. Let's call it that. This idea might actually save a few customers because a game like that can make you never want to gamble again. Or maybe, like the Surgeon General does, there should at least be a warning on your Game 7 hockey bet. Wagering on this event may cause extreme heartache, regret, and an unplanned trip to Best Buy. I'm telling you, get on this, FanDuel, because I am going to need this for the next batch of Game 7s that I'm destined to lose. All right, let's see what else you got, Mikey Meatballs. Ooh. Number switch news. Wow, what do you know? We made some news and some trouble last week when I had legendary Giants quarterback Phil Simms on, and I asked Phil if he would give up his retired number 11. Against my advice, Phil says he'd be honored to give it up to first-round pick Abdul Carter, who wore 11 in college. Where are you on this? What if Jackson Dart wants your number 11? Would you take it?
Hey, look, I told some of my friends and people around me, I said, I'd let him have it in a second. I said, can you just help it a little and make it better?
FanDuel TV posted the clip and Abdul Carter responded that he'd be honored to take Phil's number. Now everybody's honored despite my advice, and the whole fiasco is picked up by all the media outlets. Sports Illustrated, TMZ, the New York Post, I think OkCupid got it. Great, right? Well, Phil, after talking to his family, got vetoed, to which Abdul Carter said, "Man, I'm never going to get anyone's number." So I feel like it's now my responsibility to come up with a solution, and here it is. Here is my number 22. This is my practice jersey, football jersey from John Glenn High School. Abdul Carter, I give this to you. I played safety for John Glenn High School. Everybody knows this story. Safety Sal, everybody's pal. Well, there's a story I could tell you. It's funny about my playing days. One time I was...
Not talking about this.
Oh. We're not going to talk about that, Jordan? Okay, maybe you're right. It is sort of personal. All right. Sorry, Abdul. I tried. You're on your own. Toss me another one. Here we go. Good one. Mother's Day MVP. All right, happy Mother's Day. This one goes out to all the sports moms. Let's face it, they do it all. From schlepping the juice boxes and orange slices to youth soccer games to being the first ones to offer that big hug at the NFL draft. Or if you're Jaden Daniels' mom, they make sure the only scoring her son does is on the field. She protects him more than that offensive line. Yes, we've seen some great sports moms over the years. Many are athletes themselves. Serena Williams won the Aussie Open while carrying a child, for God's sakes. Carrie Walsh Jennings competed in the Olympics while pregnant. And it's not just moms who have displayed athletic heroism. Don't forget about Grandmama. She helped Urkel win the citywide tournament in a pair of Converse and a floral dress that she got from the $10 clearance rack at Dress Barn. But there can only be one world's best sports mom, and that honor, as far as I'm concerned, goes to a lady named Minna Wilson. She's the reigning champion for good reason, because in 1989, Minna's son, British boxer Tony Wilson, was getting clobbered by his opponent Steve McCarthy when Ma Wilson leapt into the ring and began smacking him upside the head with her shoe. I'm not kidding. The method of knockout was a Mary Jane kitten heel. Minna told us Mama said knock you out long before LL Cool J, and for that, she'll always be in my corner of great moms. So here's to all the mothers out there. This Sunday at brunch, have some fun and smash the over on those bottomless mimosas. All right, that does it for tossing topics. Now it's time for my irrationally angry attempt to make rational sense of a somewhat irrational bet. It's wagering. It's Mother's Day weekend, and do I have the mother of all WNBA futures bets for you? Caitlin Clark. You've heard of her, yes? Yeah, we're betting on Caitlin to average the most three-pointers in the Ladies Association this year. And you might be thinking, well, that's ridiculous. Of course Caitlin Clark is going to have the most threes. What do I have to pay for that? Minus 5,000? Minus 2,000? Act now on FanDuel Sportsbook, and you will get this gem at the low, low price of minus 120. I know, I can't believe it either. Someone's obviously asleep at the wagering wheel. Last year, her rookie season, Caitlin won this category. She attempted the most. She made the most. She dreamed about the most threes. This season, she's going to annihilate the competition. She's already getting bored with this stuff. She's too good. This year, don't be surprised to see Caitlin pull up from the Dippin' Dots located in the entrance of the mezzanine. Betting Caitlin to have the most threes is like betting on LeBron to announce an injury after his team is eliminated, or betting James Harden to choke in Game 7, or like betting on the Met Gala version of Joe Burrow to dress up like a drug dealer crashing a bar mitzvah. The real WNBA games start next Friday, but jump on this right this second before it skyrockets. I'd do it for you myself, but I don't have the time to guess everyone's FanDuel passwords. All right, time for our first break. When we return, another safe bet. You are about to laugh your off. Jeff Ross joins us. That's next on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Welcome back to Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Despite having very little athletic ability, my next guest has gone toe-to-toe and taken down some of the greatest athletes of all time. Shaq, Mike Tyson, Tom Brady, Caitlyn Jenner. Now, his show, Take a Banana for the Ride, is headed to Broadway. Yes, this great white animal is headed to the Great White Way. He is the Roastmaster General and my dear, dear pal, Jeffrey Ross. What's happening, Jeff?
Sal, baby. How does that sound? Headed to Broadway, baby.
Are you literally headed to Broadway? It looks like you're in Central Park right now.
I'm in Washington Square Park as we speak. Okay. There's a lot going on, as you can see. And it's a beautiful 70 degrees here in New York. I'm rehearsing my show for the big tour. I know you're coming to Largo next weekend, so that means a lot, buddy.
Very excited. Very exciting.
And it's always been my dream to play the Hard Rock in Gary, Indiana.
And you did it, right?
Finally doing it. Bristol, Virginia, Cincinnati, Atlantic City, all the mega metropolis hotspots.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I want to get to Take a Banana for the Ride. First off, I looked everywhere. I couldn't find you at the Met Gala. What happened? You didn't make it?
I haven't been to a Met game since 1972.
Okay.
You're talking about
smart.
The Met Gala. But ever since Jerry Kuzman retired, I haven't gone to the Met Gala. No, ever since I had that falling out with Felix Mian in 71, I don't talk to him anymore.
I know all these people. It's very sad. But
anyway.
I was thinking like you could have worn like your karate gi. You were, I make fun of your athletic ability, but you were a black belt as what, like a 12-year-old or 13?
Being a black belt is like being a Marine. Once you're a black belt, you're always a black belt. So Don't mess with me. I'm still a black belt. I can't fit it around my waist anymore, but no, I've invented a new type of martial arts. It's called kosher kai.
It's premiering on Netflix, right? With that'll be great. With
what is
Daniel LaRussa, Kosher Kai. All right, listen, we're on this text chain now. We make fun of Hollywood, everything. We'd all be canceled if it got out. Right? Like it's me, you, it's Jimmy, it's Baby Doll, it's Simmons. Right. I'm just waiting for the Page 6 article where Elon went after Jimmy, and we're all sharing a 2-bedroom apartment in Reseda. But the point is, every 3 weeks or so, we try to figure out.
That would be fun, though. By the way, you and I feel like you and I have shared a bed before, and it wouldn't be that big a deal. Actually, life would be a lot simpler if we didn't have all these responsibilities.
Yeah.
If we all just got like kicked out of show business and lived together, it would be pretty great.
It does sound good. All right. Yeah, I'm welcoming it then.
It's a better plan B than some of these people have.
No kidding. But listen, we do on the text chain, we talk about who you should roast next.
Yeah.
And it feels like the same 10 names over and over, but I want to mix it up.
Yeah.
You've had some greats. I mentioned Shaq, Emmitt Smith, Brady, obviously. Which sports figure throughout history would you have wanted to roast the most if you lived in a different time? Is it Muhammad Ali? Is it just automatically Muhammad Ali?
Muhammad Ali would have been great because his rebuttal would have been great. That would have been like shattering all rebuttals, I feel like, because the GOAT confidence. But when you started to ask the question, the not the name, but the body of Babe Ruth came into my head. And I was like, this guy feels like would have been the ultimate roast. It would have been Tom Brady of the day, and the Babe, I think, would have been the greatest roast of all time.
That's a great one. Just as 4 hours of fat jokes for sure.
But really just as a way to get Lou Gehrig there to make fun of the leukemia.
That's right. Yes. Was it leukemia?
Oh, no, that's not the one named after him.
No, that's Tommy John surgery. The Yankees have all these.
I can't believe leukemia is not named after Lou Gehrig. I didn't know that.
When you see this thing with Bill Belichick and the girlfriend, the 24-year-old girlfriend blowing up, now you had access to this information and you went after him pretty good. The Brady roast, right. But now it's taken on a different life form. Well, is your first reaction like, damn it, I wish I was privy to this information. She's running his life and everything else and, canceling interviews and stuff, a year ago. What do you think when you see this?
I see that it's funny. Like it never occurs to me to roast somebody again. But like everywhere I go, people go, roast Belichick next. Roast Belichick next, as if like we only kind of like opened the jar. We didn't really like dump it out yet. So a Belichick roast is, I don't have regrets because I think it all needed to happen in this order. Yeah. It needed to kind of happen. Like if we had known all that about Belichick, he wouldn't have showed up.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
If that was all public, he was keeping a lid on all that. And then I think it was Edelman or Gronk who let it slip, right? Maybe Brady made a joke. And then, so they kind of knew stuff the public didn't really know yet.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of this proposal?
Yeah.
The winner of the Super Bowl, the MVP goes to Disney World, right? We know that. That's a tradition for 40 years. And they go to the White House. But here's my pitch. The loser has to get roasted. It's in the contract. You lose the game. 2 months later, you're getting roasted on Netflix. Might be a little more incentive for some of the shyer quarterbacks, right?
Oh my gosh, Sal, that's genius.
Thank you. My friend Joel Solomon came up with it. Yeah.
It's a genius idea. The loser gets roasted.
Yeah. How do we get that in play?
But the problem is that implies that roasting is for losers, but roasting is for winners. We know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that you could then align with that and try to trick people into believing that. That's fine. I don't care what you do with that. But that's
okay. Well, all I know is Tom Brady, since we roasted him, everything that he ever dreamed of has come true. He became an owner. He became a broadcaster, and his wife had a baby with someone else.
Yeah.
Like it all got out of his jurisdiction.
Exactly. Donald Trump too. Alec Baldwin. You can go on and on. It's only the good things, right? I want to do a guess the lines with you. Simmons and I do guess the lines. Sunday night we preview the following week's games. I want to do it with you. Roast battle edition for athletes. I'm going to give you two athletes. You tell me. Well, I'll give you the line. You tell me who you're betting on. Shaq against Charles Barkley. I make Shaq a slight favorite.
I think Charles Barkley might be inherently a funnier person in some ways, but I think Shaq's got the sarcasm and the roast experience, and he would have the wherewithal to hire help, like writers, because he's done a few roasts. So I'm going to go with Shaq.
Okay. All right. That's a coin toss, so that's a good pick. I think I know your answer here. Blake Griffin or LeBron James?
Blake has a lot of comedy experience, obviously. He roast battled me. He almost beat me, so I can't count him out. LeBron seems to have a good sense of humor. I've seen him on stage with Chappelle, but I haven't really seen him take a joke. I've only seen him kind of get mad at like heckling. So being able to take a joke is a big part of the recipe for being a good roast battler. So I have to go with Blake on this one.
Okay. Good choice. Caitlin Clark or Caitlyn Jenner?
Man, you can never rule out any Caitlyn at a roast. Caitlin's
right.
But Caitlyn Jenner roasted Caitlyn. I remember saying to Caitlyn before the Alec Baldwin roast, have you ever roasted? Like, are you going to be able to handle these jokes? And she was like, I did the Friars Club roast with Dean Martin or something. Like, she was there as a young athlete. I got to go with Jenner on that one.
By the way, I want to thank you. You brought me on as your partner on Celebrity Millionaire last summer.
That was you. That was you.
I was the one who pushed you off the chair. I'm sorry. We won $32,000 for Meals on Wheels. Did we get further than you thought we would?
No, we were a funny team, but and I never really thought trivia was our thing. And I can't imagine who canceled that they got us. Right?
Someone had to cancel for you to be on, and then someone had to cancel for me to be on. It was, no. I think we were entertaining, but then it got serious. You get like serious with the music playing and the lights changing and everything. Like, damn, this isn't even my money, and I'm freaking out over this.
Jimmy drags it out. He does everything but tell us the answers. And everything legally allowed, he does. And then, maybe if we had more time to prepare, because I remember. Mickey, the booker, your cousin Mickey, called me and she's like, Jeff, it's kind of last minute, but the parrot from Beretta canceled. And they were like, hey, we have Ben Vereen, but turns out he died a couple years ago. So we need you guys to come in on the weekend. So
if we had 3 or 4 more years to prepare, we didn't know which tree was a Christmas tree.
National Christmas Tree Association recommends several species of what tree?
Oh.
Willow, birch, fir, redwood.
The audience would know. Jimmy would know.
Yeah, but have you gotten a good look at the audience?
Oh, yeah, you're right. We don't know a lot. That's we have to start.
The fact that neither of us knew what. Yeah, it was a tricky one. But in the end, we raised $30,000 for Meals on Wheels, which is a great cause. And
did you take the other 2,000? I thought it was 32. You probably skimmed off the top.
I did get a little bit of a commission there because I gotta eat too. So
right, I get it. All right, yeah, you can't just eat bananas all the time.
By the way, shout out to Meals on Wheels, who helped me a lot in my early days as a comic.
There you go.
Check on my grandpa and give him a hot meal while I went to New York and did comedy. So I always shout them out.
Let's talk about Grandpa, because Take a Banana for the Ride. It's headed to Broadway, by the way. This is incredible. Now, before Broadway, like you said, it's going to be in Largo. It's going to be all over the country. I bought a bunch of tickets thinking it would be funny if there were just empty seats in the front as you walked in. But everybody wants to go, and of course they do. It's very exciting. Tell everyone about the show and your relationship with your grandfather.
My Pop Jack, this is his ring I'm wearing, by the way. It's right here.
Yeah.
He wore it his whole life. This is a steel bolt from a Nazi U-boat. He was in one of the crews that worked on it. And he took off this bolt and made a ring, and he wore it his whole life. And he was just the greatest. He was like my hero. He came to my rescue. He would always give me a few dollars for the bus and a banana. And he'd say, take a banana for the ride. And I would take the 114 West into New York City to do my open mic nights. And, my parents were gone when I was a teenager. So I live with my Pop Jack. And, you would have loved him, Sal. He reminds me of some of the guys in your family. He's just the real, they call it salt of the earth, but He was super sarcastic. He was one of those guys that could do the New York Times crossword puzzle, and then also was a construction foreman, like a tough guy that was super smart. Yeah. And we lived together. All my friends became his friends. Like, he was that guy. Like, for his 79th birthday, I threw him a birthday party, but he made me tell everybody he was 80 because he thought he'd get better presents. So the show's got a lot of funny family stories, and it's very cathartic.
Yes. I'm excited to see it. I've seen it already, and it's hilarious, but I want to tell people, be prepared to cry. Like, I remember wiping tears from my face at the 2-hour mark, wondering, boy, is this ever going to end? Is there an intermission? Can't we just get out? No, it's great. I mean, and then you make incredible analogies to the banana itself and how people have to be tough. Yeah. But I already forgot it, so I'll relearn it next week. But
people were like bananas. They get bruised, but they're still good.
Yes, that's it.
In fact, the more bruised we get, the sweeter we are.
There you go.
And we're mushy on the inside, and we have this tough exterior to protect us. It means a lot that you're coming, Sal. It really does. I wonder who's coming to see me in Tampa, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Cincinnati, Bristol, Gary, Indiana,
Rockford, Illinois, Atlantic City, Tampa, Orlando. You said Orlando, Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah,
that's nice.
They're all the Hard Rocks. Hard Rocks getting behind the show, which is pretty cool. And we'll have some Broadway news pretty soon. But this is the pre-Broadway engagement.
Before I let you go, I have one more question. We call this Cousin's Conundrum.
Cousin's Conundrum.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the conundrum. You could bring back to life the comedian of your choice. It could be anyone. It could be Norm, Greg Giraldo, George Carlin.
You already know the answer, but go ahead.
Well, no, I'm not going to go that way because I know you're friends with a lot of these people and I know them too. But here's the conundrum. In order to bring one back, you have to pick one living comedian to die in their place.
So what's the trade? One living comedian for which dead comedian?
Well, I'll give you 3 dead comedians that, you know.
Oh boy, this is a tough one.
You don't even have to name them. I'm more interested in the living comedian that you would get rid of.
Let me think. Give me some choices.
Okay. Matt Friend.
All right, fine. Matt Friend, trade him for him.
Well, I mean, you know, we'll get Gilbert back.
I love Matt, but I would have to trade him for Gilbert. I really would.
All right.
I would have to unfriend Matt Friend.
All right, I'm going to ask you one more in case that doesn't fly. Pretty straightforward. The conundrum is you have Tom Brady's career, but you also have Tom Petty's hair, Tom Arnold's liver, and you have to pay Tom Cruise's ex-wives. Do you take the deal, or are you just Jeffrey Ross, which is pretty damn good?
Man, as much as I admire Tom Brady, and the first time I met him, I fell in love with him. Like, he's the most beautiful person and inspirational. I like my life enough where I think I'm good.
Look at you.
I feel like this is our time, Sal.
Yeah.
This is our time. We're in our prime, baby. This is our time.
I love it.
So I wouldn't trade with anyone. I wouldn't trade with anyone.
That's the right answer. Tickets, dates, see Jeff in his soon-to-be Broadway show. Take a banana for the ride. Head to roastmastergeneral.com. He's going to be at Largo Theater May 16th. I can't wait. Jeff, I'm going to stop the interview because you're up to like 65 steps. I'm worried about you.
New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. I love you, buddy.
I love you. Good luck with the tour. I'll see you on our text chain in like 3 minutes. Tell your face.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll take a banana for the ride. Bye.
There you go. Bye. We'll be right back with the D3 when Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend returns. Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Let's keep things moving with 3 guys who I will never label as future considerations in any trade I make with another show. They're my wizards of wagering, my gurus of gambling, my barons of betting, my overlords of the odds from the Against All Odds podcast, the D3. Harry, Brother Bright, Darren, the Parlay Kid. What is happening, fellas?
What's going on, Sal?
What's up, Sal?
What's going on, buddy?
Guys, we just had one of my favorite people in the world on, the Roastmaster General, Jeff Ross. I think he's one of your favorite comedians, too. He's roasted so many heavy hitters. And speaking of that, when I asked him who in sports history he'd want to roast, he said Babe Ruth. This is someone he has never roasted before. If he went back in time, that's what immediately came to his mind. What about you guys? Who would you guys like to see him roast? Harry, let's start with you.
How about just a bunch of cowboy quarterbacks? I don't know. He has made a couple jokes about Troy Aikman before. Very funny, very funny. But maybe Tony Romo, maybe Dak Prescott. You know, get it done, guys, in the playoffs. He's got to have something under that he's got to roll through. I'm thinking about it so much that I'm lost for words, Sal.
Harry got the joke out that, the Cowboys suck, and then it doesn't really matter if words mesh after that. That's good. All right, Brian, pick it up here. What do you think?
Look, Sal, you kind of roasted him already, but I think I'd love to see Jerry Jones. I'm sticking with the Cowboys here. Just all the jokes, right? The Cowboys' recent losses, the plastic surgery, God knows what else here. So I think him, maybe A-Rod, but Jerry Jones, I would lean.
Oh, A-Rod's a good one, too. I thought about Jerry Jones. Yeah, I had the opportunity to roast him at some Cowboys executive lunch or something. It didn't go over so great for me. But yeah, Jerry, there's a lot going on there. The plastic surgery, the bad trades, the family stuff. Who knows? There could even be more. All right, Parlay Kid, those are good answers.
Let's just roast Roger Staubach, Sal. Like, come on, Harry.
I left him alone, D. Left him alone.
I got a good answer here.
Yeah, Roger Staubach.
I got a great answer. I think one of the best guys you could roast in the sports industry would be Charles Barkley. Would be a really fun roast. Maybe even do a tag team with him and Shaq, just roasting those guys all night long. He'd have a great sense of humor about it, and I'd love to see him rebut those that were roasting him. So I think Barkley would be my answer. Sam.
Barkley's good. I asked Jeff separately from this if Barkley and Shaq had a roast battle, who would win. I made Shaq a -150 favorite, and he said that's a good price. Shaq
that's good.
Shaq
I like that.
Good. But I thought Ali would be good, right? Just that would be great. Ali, Babe Ruth, George Steinbrenner would be great. You talk about going after old owners.
Yeah.
We could talk about this for hours, but we only have 24 minutes. Let's move things to the NBA playoffs. Wow, these conference semifinals so far. It's insane. The Pacers went into Cleveland, took both games from the top-seeded Cavs. Tyrese Halliburton's dad had to watch from home, and now the series shifts to Game 3. 120, 119, was that Game 2 after being down 20? I lose track of the biggest losers, but I think that's it. Cavs had Mobley, Hunter, and Garland out, but still 20-point lead at home. It's hard to believe. I know a lot of people like Indiana plus 2.5 games for the series, and that's already a winner. It's crazy, and we were all looking at it. Game 3, Cleveland on the road is a favorite, 2.5 points, 229.5. That's the over-under. Bri, you're taking the side. Going with the road favorite here, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cavs -2.5. Look, there could be injury news right all the way up to game time, but you'd have to assume Cleveland gets at least one, if not two, of these guys back. If they want to win the series, look, they're going to have to fight through injuries. It's as simple as that. But I do like the Cavs. So far in this postseason, right, home court has not mattered at all, right? And this Cavs team has been too good all season to go down 3-0. Right after blowing game 2, they're going to have to give maximum effort here, and I think they will. And look, Cleveland, they were the best team against the spread on the road this season, much better than they were even at home. So give me the Cavs -2.5.
All right, there you go. A Parlay Kid, you like your brother's pick, right? And you like it even more because you're taking an adjusted line here. This has been the bane of my playoff existence here.
Yes.
To win by 10 or more. You actually like the Cavs by 11 plus.
Yeah, we'll take the win margin 11 plus here in this game, Sal. And I'm banking on some of these guys being back here in a must-win Game 3. Like Brian said, the Cavs are a gritty team. They're not flashy by any means. They are a gritty team. They got a gritty coach. The road has not mattered. They were 30-11 straight up on the road this year as well. They're a very good road team, 64-18 in the regular season. I don't think this team is going anywhere just yet, Sal. I expect them to win and win big in this next game. And they've had enough rest here, too. The rest is going to help here. Mitchell looked like he was gassed at the end of that game.
Yeah.
I think he comes back with a vengeance. Cavs win big in Game 3.
All right, we're going to get to player props in a second. Harry, you like the total? You're Mr. Total lately in the NBA.
Been okay lately, too. So I'm going to go over 229.5. Sal, Cavs might become desperate in relying on Donovan Mitchell, especially if the injured players are still out. Meanwhile, Indiana just continues to go about their business. They have had a different leading score in 4 of the last 4 games, and the first 2 games of the series have gone over 230. 5 of the Pacers' last 6 playoff games have gone over 230. Plus, in the last 3 regular season meetings versus these 2, they averaged 238 points. I think its scoring continues, Sal. Give me over 229.5.
All right, there you go. I'm going to take something interesting here. The Pacers to be winning, I'm going against all you guys, to be winning at the end of every quarter. Now, this might be the dumbest bet in all sports because everybody knows that you could be winning most quarters, you could be winning 3 quarters, but then you have to blow it at the end. There's no bet like that really on FanDuel. So I'm just going to do this. This is just how 2025 has been. I'm taking a chance. The favored Cavs are going to lose their will early. Spider Mitchell realizes his 48 isn't doing it. What's the point? Halliburton, Miles Turner turn things on. Pacers 29-11 at home. That's second best in the East to the Celtics. I think getting almost 4-1 odds for what could be a superior team, taking care of business for 2.5 hours at home. Is that asking a lot? That might be, probably. Cleveland, though, not up for this game, I don't think. Pacers win and win every quarter, plus 390. All right, let's go for a player prop. Harry, you heard the Parlay Kid mention a big game out of Donovan Mitchell. You're thinking the same thing here.
Yeah, I think he's going to score 30 points or more at minus 108. Mitchell has 30 or more in 4 of 6 playoff games. With injuries, like you mentioned, the Cavs have. He's been relied on more than ever. He's gone for 33 and 48 in both games in the series. And he's done it with 30 shots in both games. 30 shots. Give me 30 points for Mitchell at minus 108, Sal.
All right. Parlay Kid, you're going with an assist, player prop assist here.
Yeah, and I think dishing to Mitchell a lot will be Garland. So I'm going to take Garland 6+ assists at minus 113. In the last 11 games that Garland's been on the court, he's gone over 6 or more, 9 out of those 11 games. He averages close to 7 assists per game. I think he hits this rather easily in a game where I expect the Cavs to light it up. Take Garland 6+ assists at minus 113.
All right, Brian and I have Pacer props here. I'll go first here. Halliburton 20 or more plus 112. I like the Pacers, and I'm looking at their best player who has done an amazing job creating shots. Like, honestly, like how he ends up getting like these freebie layups is something else. Now, I think there's a caveat, right? As Bryce says, if you don't have Mobley in there, if you don't have Garland, things are going to be spectacular for the Pacers, where they might not normally be. But Halliburton has exceeded 25 points, rebounds, assists in 19 straight at home. But I'm just taking the points here, 20 plus. He's had 20 plus at home in 6 of his last 8. With these Stars, they could be stuck on 7 entering the fourth quarter and just explode there in the last 12 minutes. It's tough to bet against him. Look at Ant Edwards. He was absolutely horrific in that game 1 and ended up with 23. I'm getting plus money here. Tyrese Halliburton gets 20, and if he doesn't, his father is going to kick the shit out of the mailman or something. I don't know how it works out. All right, Brian, take us home. What do you like?
Yeah, and look, even though I have Cavs still in the game, I do like the Aaron Nesmith prop over 12.5 points at minus 118. Not a lot of people have talked about him this postseason, but Nesmith's shooting has been exceptional so far. He is shooting 56% from 3 in the postseason. He's averaging 20 points per game in the first 2 games of the series. And over his last 6 games, he's scored at least 14 points per game. So at home, he'll be just as comfortable. So I think 12.5 seems very low for him. So I would go over that number, Sal.
Do you guys who like the Pacers, that like the Cavs, do you like a chance at plus 164 to win the series, or do you think that's too low, Parlay Kid?
I like that number, Sal. I'm not sure if it's too low. Yeah, okay. I would jump on that. I think I probably have jumped on that. I probably parlayed the Cavs now in about a million different ways so far today. Let's hope they get it together, or I'm screwed, Sal.
Yeah, Brian. Well, Brian, what do you think of that number? I don't know. It's with all the injuries. Like, I might like it normally, but this.
I think if you like it, I would just bet this game though. I think if you like, if you like that number, I would just take them minus 130 on the game. Okay. Yeah,
Harry, what do you think? What if Roger Staubach's playing? You like the Cavs chance?
Actually, I'm kind of with you a little bit here, Sal. I think it's a little low considering the injury and especially
Pacers.
With Mobley not being in the lineup. If he misses another game, that guy is Defensive Player of the Year last year. So definitely a little low in my opinion.
All right, time for a quick break. But when we return, we've got a special Mother's Day related question from the Make Believe Riverboat Captain, and we're going to place our bets on which quarterback will be starting the season for the Giants and the Colts. Yes, season's right around the corner. Can you feel it? We're going to have to eventually decide on one of these guys. It's all next on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Welcome back to Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Sunday is a big day, not just because of everything there is to bet on your multiple TV screens. It's also Mother's Day. Yes, there's still time to make those brunch reservations, or better yet, take your mom or wife to the Mets game. It's clutch purse day for the first 15,000 fans. Love how Steve Cohen thinks, really. Anyway, it got the Make-Believe Riverboat Captain, our friend, thinking about his mom and all the sports moms out there. And he asked, who is the most courageous sports mom? And he put odds on this. Is it Serena Williams, who was famously pregnant when she won the Aussie Open at 3-1? Kerry Walsh Jennings, also pregnant while competing in the Olympics, 10-1 odds. Donna Kelsey, 20-1 odds, popping out those big monster guys. Or Linda McMahon at 150-1 odds. Or you could take the field at even. Before I let you guys go, I already gave an answer to this in the monologue. I said Minna Wilson. She is the mom who beat her son's boxing opponent with a shoe. She ran into, you guys remember this?
Yeah.
She ran into the ring. Yeah. There's some good options out there, honestly. Tennis and volleyball while pregnant, winning that. I can't even, either one of those. Volleyball, like diving on the sand. It's crazy. Donna popping up, as I said. Linda McMahon taking a couple stunners from Stone Cold. And you could tell if you've heard her speak lately. She's affected. But Minna Wilson, that's my pick. I talked about this, like I said. Tony Wilson was getting busted up by his opponent, Steve McCarthy, and she appears in the ring and smacked McCarthy upside the head with these shoes. It's crazy. And even after the boxers were separated and he was disqualified, she still went after this guy as he's getting his hand raised. It's a great video if you haven't seen it. I'd love to interview her or Tony Wilson. I want to say, you guys think there's any shame in Tony Wilson, like when he goes back to the gym to train? It's like, damn, your mother ran in the ring and tried to save you. Like, I don't know if you could come back from that. Anyway, Minna received an endorsement deal from Payless for the last 35 years. So it all worked out. She's my top sports mom. Harry, I'm going to go with you, or I'm going to go to you for your pick.
Well, at 150-1, Sal, I got to take Linda McMahon. I mean, all these years, first of all these years being the craziness with the WWF, then WWE, having been married to Vince for so long, and then Stephanie and Shane McMahon, son and daughter, they've been insane with the wrestling as well. And Sal, I was with you in your when you put the cake in the face of Santino on Raw in Kansas City at one time, and her son-in-law is Triple H, and I was so excited to meet Triple H, and he was just a complete jerk there too. So who knows what he's done as a son-in-law too. I'm just saying, Linda McMahon with Stephanie and Shane, the craziness that's gone down. Give me McMahon at 150-1.
Okay, yeah, she was in a wheelchair. There was some crazy setups with her. All right, Parlay Kid, which one you going with?
Yeah, I'll take the favorite here. It's out 3-1 with Serena Williams winning the 2017 Australian Open while pregnant. That's a story for the ages in itself, Sal. And plus in that Australian heat, that's I can't believe she pulled that off. One of the greatest sports accomplishments of our time. Serena Williams, 3-1.
I like it. Koala bears nipping at your heels for 3 hours. I don't know how she pulled off. Yeah, the other one, first of all, we'll probably find out there were dozens of athletes who were pregnant or maybe didn't know it when they were competing. But to me, the Kerry Walsh Jennings, like playing beach volleyball.
Yeah,
that's
impressive.
That's something else here. All right, Bri, you have a field bet here.
Yeah, well, do you guys remember when Harry played me in tennis while he was pregnant?
Oh,
I do. That's right.
That's
and
right.
he could barely, probably could lasted about 15
And I still
minutes.
won the first set.
Oh, man.
But look, Sal, there's a lot of good answers here. I mean, we could go with our close friend Megan O'Brien Morant Connolly for running marathons while pregnant.
Yeah. Yes, good
but
call.
I'm not going to take her though. I'm going to go with Diane Gronkowski. I know you brought up Kelsey's mom, but Gronkowski's mom raised 5 professional athletes, right? 4 of them football players, 5 huge guys.
Yeah.
But just imagine that household for 20 years. Like, I'm sure there was a lot. I'm sure it was fun, a lot of fun moments. But I swear, I would definitely be in a loony bin if I had those boys for those many years. So.
That is a great call. And by the way, 3 of them are probably back at home living with the
Probably.
Yeah, that's great. All right. I hope you're happy with that, Riverboat Captain. Let's get back to actual betting. We're into our second month of baseball, and the NL Rookie of the Year starting to take shape. I'm going to give you our picks. We did AL Rookie of the Year a couple of weeks ago, and I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm finally getting to it. Roki Sasaki for the Dodgers. For God's sakes, every year they have a rookie, just a rookie sensation. And Dylan Cruz for Washington, they're favored at plus 320. Harry, you like Cruz at plus 320. That's who you're taking.
I do. Let's see, by the way, Sal, if I can go 2 for 2 in Rookie of the Year.
Who'd you have last year?
Well, as of right now in the AL, I don't have it won yet, but I have Jacob Wilson, who's plus 135. I gave him out at 12 to 1 for the A's.
Right. Okay.
He had 4 hits a couple days ago. Cruz, I'm going to go Dylan Cruz, though, the Nationals at plus 320. Isn't hitting for average so much right now, but he's actually playing every day in this lineup for Washington, like a lot of these other guys who just haven't been playing that much. He leads the team, Sal, in stolen bases with 9, second in runs scored, and he does have 4 home runs. Dylan Cruz of the Nationals, plus 320.
All right, good pick. Let me stay in the National League. I'm going to take Agustin Ramirez at plus 370. This actually went up a little. I wanted to do this a couple of weeks ago at 6 to 1. He's a catcher that they picked up in the trade, Parlay Kid and Bry for Chisholm, right? Against, for the Yankees. 25 homers, 93 RBIs in the minors as a catcher. Great numbers for a backstop. He's batting around 270 now, already 4 homers, less than 50 at-bats. Harry recommends walking him in the 4th and 7th inning, and if it's to get to the 13th inning.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that's when he's the hottest. Dodgers pitchers, we know what they have. They go down to injuries because of Botox and smog out here. That's what happens, kills the rotator cuff. Let's take a chance with 23-year-old Agustin Ramirez playing for the Marlins at almost 4 to 1. You get plus 370. All right, Bry, you can't pass up a guy named Bubba.
Yeah, no, look, I'm going to go Bubba Chandler of the Pirates at plus 800. Like, he's yet to pitch in the majors, but he's the current NL, in this current NL rookie crop, Sal, they have not played well at all, right? So not playing well for any of these guys is not hurt, right? Cruz has not been good. But Chandler could get a call up very soon, right? He's been dominant in AAA so far, been showing off his 100-mile-per-hour fastball. And the funny thing is, he looks a lot like Skeens, right? So I think these guys would make a great 1-2 punch, and the Pirates fans need something to be happy about, right? So he may not be as good as Skeens, but he should be a really good starter for him. I would expect him to be really good right away. So I would take a chance on him at 8 to 1, considering he should be up in a few weeks.
All right, Parlay Kid, take us home. Who's the National League Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, well, I'm rolling with Thomas Sujasi here of the Cardinals, Sal, and he's sitting 341, lighting it up. But there's a reason why he's 50 to 1 because he just got sent down. So I'm gonna have to root for this kid to get back up to have any shot at winning this one. But the kid can rake, Sal. I think he just needs an everyday playing opportunity that could arise if some type of injury or somebody's not performing for the Cardinals is happening, and he might come up and continue where he left off at 341.
All right, there you go. There's a nice little long shot for you. All right, over to football. We love football. The draft is over. Big schedule release night next Wednesday, and few teams have quarterback decisions to make, except for the Steelers, who seem like they are refusing to make one at all. We already hit the Browns last week. Quarterback take the first snap. Now FanDuel has odds on who will be the starting quarterback for the Colts and Giants. Let's start with the Colts. We see Richardson at minus 265. He took the lion's share of the snaps last year when he was healthy. Daniel Jones plus 215 and Riley Leonard at 35 to 1. You guys, give me your reasons for Daniel Jones. Harry, start us off. You love the Giants quarterbacks or former Giants.
Well, look, I don't like. I'm taking Daniel Jones. At plus 250.
Yeah, I told everyone that already.
Well, look, it's probably the best move for Indy, which is still a bad move. I think Jones stinks. You know, I've said that forever. But Anthony Richardson is god awful. In 10 games last year, where he had at least 10 attempts, he had 0 games where he had 70% completion percentage. In fact, 8 of those 10. 50% or less. At least Jones's turnovers and decision-making flat out is better than Richardson's, which doesn't say much, but still better. Give me Daniel Jones.
All right. Parlay Kid, you agree with Harry. This is a rare occurrence. So
I do, and I was on the Richardson hype train coming into last year, but I saw enough to think that he's just really not ready to lead that team at this point. I think Jones is a nice bridge for him here. And I think Jones has an opportunity here to revive his career. He's shown flashes. I'm not as down on Jones as Harry is. Shane Steichen's a pretty good coach for quarterbacks. He gets the most out of them, I think. Hasn't gotten it out of Richardson just yet. But I think Jones is a good fit here. He's going to have a good, strong running game, solid offensive line, which he hasn't really ever had with the Giants, except when he had Barkley. But the line has never been favorable for him. I think with some good line play and some decent weapons around him, I think he's the best value here, Sal, plus 215 for sure.
Yeah. Bri, I feel like we throw out 1 million bets a week, but this is maybe one we should make. Daniel Jones to take the first snap week 1 for the Colts.
Yeah. And look, I like it a lot here because look, Shane Steichen's in year 3, right? This could be a make or break year for him, and that division is not that great. Yeah. So far what we've seen from Richardson has not been great. And they need somebody who can consistently throw the ball. Now, we don't know if that's fully Daniel Jones, but it would be interesting to see how he would do, considering the Colts do have a lot of weapons on offense, right? Mm-hmm. And unless Richardson has miraculously somehow really improved in this offseason, I think Jones could easily surpass him and get the nod. Plus, you have to factor in, can Richardson stay healthy through the preseason? So I would definitely take Jones at plus 215 here.
All right, let's talk Giants. Russell Wilson, the big name starter at minus 1,600. Then you have Jackson Dart, the first-round pick, at plus 1,200. And Jameis Winston, plus 1,300. I'm making the pick here. First of all, that's sad there aren't any odds for Tommy DeVito, right? The NFL continues to be racist against Italians. But it's a 3-horse race, according to FanDuel. There are already reports that Jackson Dart is far from ready. Well, it's May. It's mid-May. A lot could happen. I don't think it's outrageous, though, to think that Jameis Winston outperforms Russell Wilson in training camp. All right, before you go, we've got one more. Harry, over under 1.5 rattlesnakes you murder this weekend.
1.5. I still have one to go, right? Because I did murder one on Friday, which was what's the matter, D? You don't believe I did it?
No, there's no evidence.
There is evidence. I sent the picture of Angie holding it yesterday.
Maybe we'll put that picture up here. But Parlay Kid, let's put this the right way. Like, this is national television all of a sudden. If this gets out, this is an illegal act, I think.
Okay, let's show it. Yeah, you definitely killed it.
Okay, yeah, you killed it, Harry. Good job. Keep killing it. All right, thanks as always, fellas. We'll be right back to wrap things up on Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. Welcome back to Cousin Sal's Winning Weekend. That does it for this week. We are all out of time. My thanks to the Roastmaster General, Jeff Ross. Go see his show, Take a Banana for the Ride. And to the D3, who couldn't hurt for them to take a banana for the ride in general. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. And please, always remember, you may feel like an underdog, but just know you're all my favorites. Happy handicapping and happy Mother's Day.